Okay, this is Momma Bear here at the Lone Star Ranch homestead. I should have been videoing the whole time. I tend to get busy doing stuff and don't video. But I got sidetracked. I was out here transplanting some strawberries, and you know me, I got distracted by these little fellers. They're down here, they're playing in this mud hole. We have like a wet weather creek, but we also have like a little spring down here, and it feeds this little area here, and it keeps them a waller and hoe, and they're playing in that mud and they're so adorable. Anyhow, the project for today is I planted a couple of cannas and some I'm transplanting some strawberries. Paul had, I'm just showing you a mud pile, I ain't looking down at it, I was looking up and talking. Anyhow, he had brought me down some dirt, a tractor bucket load or two, I think it was a couple, to fill that old trough up. It's an old watering trough. And we're going to transplant strawberries into it because where they're at right now just is not big enough for them. They're too crowded and they're not making very big berries, so they've needed transferred for a hot minute. I guess since they walked off for a minute, I'll show you how windy it is up here. I mean, the wind's blowing pretty good here today. Anyhow, he filled that trough up for me, and I'm in the process of digging them all up from the other pot, which they're kind of pot bound in. It's a big old, the thing I've got them in now is an old watering thing from a school, like they used to would have went up to it and had a water fountain in it. It's pretty big, but they just outgrowed it. So getting those transplanted over, but I'm realizing that just the watering trough that he filled up for me is not going to be big enough for them all. So we're going to have a lot of strawberry plants in a lot of containers. Trying to get that little bed done in this my raised garden area. We doubled our garden size this year, and we also have set up an area over there with kind of like a patio, a place to sit in the shade and work up our produce, or just sit out there and enjoy this beauty here and watch our critters from this end. So that's going to be our raised bed area of gardening. So we have a bunch of empty mineral containers, tubs that we filled with dirt, our compost from our compost hill, get tongue-tied, from our compost pile on the hill. I'll get it right in a minute. Talking, it's hard for me sometimes. Can you hear the cicadas? They're not quite as loud today, it don't seem. Or maybe it's just because it's windy. But I've got a good breeze out here, as you can see by the trees. And so that's making it not so hot, because, buddy, it's been just sticky, hot, humid, sultry. Pretty hard to work, so I thought today this would be the perfect day to be out there in that sun, having to move around those strawberry plants. Okay, so obviously this is not how it's going to look. I'm not done. This is where I've started planting them, and I was kind of figuring out how I wanted to lay them out in this, and how many I should put. That whole thing's full of them, and I've got probably 20 times that many to get still. And anyhow, Paul had put a bunch of dump loads of our compost soil in here, and it was heaped up so big that it filled up 2 more containers. So I had to, that's why the hose here, and I got a shovel, and I've been took all that heap of dirt off of that and put in here after I gathered up some rocks and made me drainage at the bottom. And we've got holes drilled in them for drainage. So yeah, I'm thinking not only, I think Paul might have I don't know if he thought so, that they'd all go in here, but they're not. And we're going to probably have a whole row of these, or have to just make a strawberry bed out here in the ground, because we've got a lot of them. Went to the farmer's market a couple of times since it's opened this year, and several weeks ago I got a couple of the elephant ears, 2 of the green and 1 of the black. It's kind of a mottled looking leaf. I really like it. Got them from Eaton Produce. I buy things from that little stand every year. Also got these 2 cannas from her. I had planted them in a smaller container. I really just think they got too much water with all this rain and stuff, but I transplanted them into a bigger container anyhow, both of them today. This is my butterfly bush. I noticed I need to go in and get some little clippers and clip off some dead limbs that's in that from last year. I don't know what happened to those, but this will be our butterfly bush. We had 2. One of them must have just not made it over the winter. May try to divide this one into 2. I love to have them around, and the butterflies love them. This is our red gooseberry bush. It's loaded. You can eat them green too, just like you can the old green ones. I'll try to see if I can find you some. I mean, it's got huge berries on it. Yeah, you can eat them green too, but they sure are good when they get red. But it's tempting to eat them when they're green too. I noticed it's got a couple of spots on it that looks pretty rough too. Can you see all those berries? It's loaded. And this one came from Tractor Supply 2 years ago, or I might have only had it a year, but I think 2 years ago. And you know, it was in one of those little box things that you see just a little bitty old sprig coming up and you don't think it's really going to make anything. But I'll back up here. It's pretty huge, and it's made berries every year. So I'd like to get another one of these red ones. We've got green ones all over the place, the wild ones obviously, but yeah, this one's it's a good one. Highly recommend it. The butterfly bush, I think it came from one of those little box things from Tractor Supply too. And the same, nope, I'll back up. These, those did, but these blueberries I'm fixing to show you come from Inman Feed. And I get plants there every year too. I go around town and I try to buy from a little bit of everybody. This is another one of those elephant ears I got from her. It's just coming out a little more. That other one's ahead of it. There's some blueberries. They ain't very big. I think I need to get to fertilizing everything too. And that blueberry came from Inman Feed. And then I've got 2 pots of these. I've showed you these before. They're the bearded irises. And I bought them on the online yard sale thing. You can, you know, buy things for people. And one of my Facebook friends, she had them for sale. Or she might have listed it on Facebook that she had them. But Jimmy picked them up for me after work one day. And I've got 2 big pots of them, and they bloom the most beautiful flowers. Got to plant something in this one. I told you I'm out here working today. And I got to trim back some dead stuff that did on this one from the winter, this rose bush. This is one that we've got like 18 roses in a row over there. And for some reason, this rose bush never did good over there, so I transferred it to one of these pots last year, and it's coming back out. I've got some fireplace black wood stove stuff that I'm going to put on this and restore this little outdoor fireplace we use here. Got some clay pots to fill too, and I told Paul, I said I'm so behind this year with everything, getting it planted. So this is my beautiful view. A lot of work here, but working on this. I gotta get this patio cleaned off. Yeah, I get to watch the animals out there. All the goats was running down the hillside there a while ago. I love to see them coming down the hill together. I Gotta put a top on this and redo these seats. I've got so many projects. Show you these flowers too. Anyhow, that's our garden. It's doubled in size. And that's a little intimidating because just our garden last year was an everyday job, putting up tomatoes, everyday job, but I'm excited about it too, because twice as much produce, and I've still got a few things out there. I've got to plant a row of peppers today, so I need to get off here and quit gabbing because nothing's ever going to get done. We got, I'll say one more thing. You see that big trench running down through that crater? Oh my goodness. A couple days after we planted this garden, we had a gully washer. I mean, it just rained so hard, it just run big trenches down through there. So we're going to have to get out there and fix that. And, you know, it's always something. The Tractor Supply bucket over there, it's got our tomato twine to tie up our tomatoes with. And some of them's already going to need it. They're pretty big. We got this garden planted, talking about buying things from people. I bought stuff from Moss and May Apple too, and they got some really good stuff. If you're needing anything, I think they still got produce, and they set up at the farmer's market every week too. They're family and they're just great people. But me and Paul was planting the garden. He says, you realize 3 rows of these come from Moss and May apples. Did you realize how many you got there? I said, no, but she has a huge variety, is where I'm going with this. And I was anxious to try some of them, and some of them were varieties I've already tried before, but she's got a good selection. So, like I said, all the above I mentioned are good places to buy things. I also pick up things at Town and Country. They've got plants and stuff out front for a short period of time too, but Inman carries a big variety, like I said, Tractor Supply, and the Eaton Produce. And you can either, she's set up at the farmer's market every week, or they also have the Eaton Produce. You can Google it, and they have a place where they live too that I think they sell stuff. And my son has picked me up produce there before, but I haven't been to their homestead, so. But I do buy from the farmer's market up here from them every year. Alright, I guess I procrastinated long enough, folks. I need to go off here and get these strawberries planted and get that roll of peppers planted, which should have already been done. But we've had, ooh, did you see that? I about got hit by a limb. Right there. Anyhow, it was just a little limb. Surely wouldn't hurt too bad. But I bet we better cut those up there, because some of them would hurt a little more than that one did. We have a lot of trees that's got some bad limbs on that we need to get cut. Anyhow, it's all time, having the time to do this stuff. But we appreciate you following us, and when I go back up there and dig up some more of them strawberry plants, I'll show you where they originally was. And I even thought about leaving a few of them there. I like them there. Marley always had her dad every morning when he brought her. She'd have Josh stop her by there, and they'd pick her whole breakfast full, a little bowl of them. She'd have to clean them as soon as she got in the house, and wanted to start eating her strawberries as part of her breakfast. So it is kind of a handy place. There's right by the sidewalk. People pick them walking in and out. So I'll probably leave some there. They was just overcrowded. Sat down here to drink me a water for a minute, and I was thinking y'all probably thought when I said, look here, here's my view, that look at this hot mess. I want to tell you, we started working on this towards the end of gardening season last year to double our garden, and we got all this cleared out. And there used to be a building right there, a big lean-to building, and so we've took a building down. We've took out a lot of stuff from out here. All this stuff here is stuff I'm kind of procrastinating about taking down. Some people just see it as weeds, but there's lamb's quarters in there. There's poke salad, cleavers, all kinds of edible things, and I guess until the moment that I have to go ahead and get it cut down. It's getting pretty snaky looking now. It wasn't this tall. Seems like it's really sprouted after the rains. But yeah, all that'll come out, but I love them wild edibles every year. A lot of them's going to seed though, so it's time for them to come down. Anyhow, in the chairs on the end there and all these others, I'm going to paint all this outdoor stuff the same color. I need to get a sandblaster, and some of it I can just sand down a little bit. I've got a lot of stuff, old metal rockers and chairs that need sandblasted before I paint them with some kind of rust-proof paint. Anyhow, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the breeze. I can't believe how much breeze we have today. Otherwise, it'd be about unbearable. Anyhow, this is going to be a nice little sanctuary out here sometime. And I'm going to hang some birdhouses, of course, and hummingbird stuff and everything else. Got me I'm always telling you what I get on the online flea markets. People like flea market hauls and stuff. Got that little cover on online auction, flea market auction for, gosh, I don't remember. $7 or $11, I can't remember. And also the big, huge tarp that's on the boat there. Same thing, it come from the online auction. We get most of our stuff on the online auction sites. It's just like a flea market online, and you go pick it up at a local business here. And there's a few, well, 4 of them here in town there was 5. One of them stopped for a little bit, and now they're back up and running, but that we like to, Paul gets his work tools for working around here, saws, anything else, tarps, a lot of the things that we need come from there at a fraction of the price. Also going to put wind chimes out here. That'll be nice. Today they'd be really nice. Might go steal a pair off the front deck or back deck and hang out here just to listen to them today. I've heard a few other limbs fall. You know, one fell on me over there, or by me, not on me. But I've heard a few others fall today. So yeah, I think we need to get after getting some of these cut that need to come down. There's several. Our mulberry tree, our biggest old one over there, it's about to die too. It's got mulberries all over it this year, but well, I'm afraid it's gonna take my chicken house out when it goes. So we gotta start cutting some dead limbs off it too. Okay, I have it planted. It's not perfect, but I've got them spaced out here like I think they need to be. Obviously, they'll perk up as they take up some of that water. I think they'll look real good here in just a couple of days. Zoom in on some of them. And they were overcrowded, so they're not going to be the best looking right at the moment, but they will be. I have high hopes for them. And they can produce bigger berries like this and be taken care of better. But I'm going to have a bunch of strawberry plants. Bunch of tubs, and maybe even have to plant the ground over here where I'm fixing to take down all this natural stuff that you can eat I was telling you about, like the lamb's quarter. For those of you that don't know, I'll come over here and zoom in on some lamb's quarter for you. I've heard it referenced to looking like a goose foot, or that's lamb's quarter. Obviously, we like it when it's smaller. There is some still small, but that's why I haven't picked them up yet. We like them. And then there's poke salad and stuff down there. But yeah, I'm going to set up a tripod soon to video when I'm working. So if you have interest in seeing us planting the plants, or how deep we plant them, or you know what we do. And if you don't, you can fast forward through that part of the video, but I know some people like to see the person actually doing it hands-on. It's so windy out here today, a tripod would not have worked. You see that butterfly flying around? Oh, it's so pretty. You guys know me. See, all it took was a little butterfly, and I'm looking everywhere. Can you see my that pretty tractor down there? See, told you I get sidetracked. Right there, you see my elderberry bush. It's fixing to start blooming. We kept that and this patch of them down here in the garden. We had so many more, and there's a few right over here. But we had to sacrifice some of them to make the garden twice the size. And it's looking like I'm going to have to sacrifice some of these wild edibles and make a smaller batch of them or something there and plant some rows of strawberry beds here. We can keep all of it, just have a smaller batches of them. Have the best of all worlds. Have all the things we enjoy. Do you hear the cicadas? Boy, sun's beating down on me there now. Yeah, they're pretty noisy. Some folks said they're not seeing too many of them. I think we got all their share of them, because they're here. I was going to show you all my little garden tool here that I got on the online auction too. It has a real small head, not big like them other ones, and it's great for working these little beds and stuff. And it was great for raking off that. I shoveled the excess dirt off that for a while that Paul had brought me and put in there. But that little tool there, it made short work of dragging that off into a bucket to move it over to these containers. Anyhow, you can see I've got my next bucket there to go. Fix and start planting the other ones. Okay guys, I got the second one planted. I know it don't look like much. It was the ones that was left over from planting that first one. But that's probably only about a fourth of that strawberry bed garden I need to move. I see one over there. I don't think I even got stuck in the dirt. But anyhow, a lot of these were pretty shabby looking, but I think it's because they were so close. I think they'll come out of it fine. The plant seems fine. I think you'll be surprised how much this fills out, and the other one, even though they look pitiful at the moment. Anyhow, I got it planted. I wish I could work out here longer and transplant some more plants, but that won't be happening today because I do have chores. I got critters that want their evening feed, and I got to put out some hay, and got a whole lot of other things to do, and I still haven't got those peppers planted. Takes longer in the day. We have so many things that we need to get done, and you run out of time. But anyhow, I've enjoyed it. I'm a little bit sunburnt. I'm a ginger. I don't look so much like a ginger in my older age. It's kind of darker, but I do burn easy. So this wind's really been blowing a few times, enough to concern me about some of the bigger limbs falling out, but it's been good for planting and kept me cooler. As always, I want to say thanks for watching. Like I said, this area is a work in progress. I know that looks like a hot mess there, but that's some wild edibles that I'm just procrastinating on cutting down, but I will. And like I said, I've worked on strawberry beds today and just had a good day. We appreciate you all. We hope you're having a blessed day. I want to say something that I'm going to try to incorporate more in my own life. You're going to see my shadow in this too when I get here. You know, when I started out here today moving all these strawberries, and then when I was pulling them apart, I was just a little overwhelmed because there were so many of them. I thought, what am I going to do with all these? I don't have that much space, and feeling a little anxiety about it. So I thought, well, Just calm down. Get one at a time. Plant one plant at a time. And before you know it, they'll all be planted and you'll have got it done. So, I'm going to start using that in my everyday life with everything else too. Sometimes we want it all done at once, or things seem a little overwhelming, or takes just a little longer than we think it should, or God's time's not the same as ours. And I'm going to try to plant one plant at a time and just give it to Him and take it as it comes and keep praying about all of it. I'd also like to give a little praise report today. I don't think we give God credit enough sometimes for everything He does for us in life, and nothing that we have in this life could be possible without Him. And my kids went on vacation last week, my son Rocky and his family, and when they got back home, after taking a shower, the water heater had caught on fire down there. They realized that the basement was full of smoke, and that the water heater had caught on fire, and it had obvious black flames up the side of it. So they got them a new hot water heater, and they didn't lose their home. And of course, as always, when we take off on travels or just on a daily basis, we pray about things. And they'd, you know, my daughter-in-law Wendy and them, they'd prayed about it and asked the Lord to protect their home while they was gone, and He did. He protected their home. They could have lost their home, and I know a lot of people have been lately, and that always breaks our heart, but we wanted to give that praise report. And also, my grandson Logan was sick the whole week during vacation, and he had to be taken to the emergency room the night they come home, and he possibly may have a tick disease or something, but he had to have a couple bags of IV fluids after passing out a couple times and have to been taken to the ER. So that could have been much worse too. We pray that that it's not, you know, a tick disease or something that'll cause him long-term problems, but we also pray that if it is, that you know, they've caught it early enough that it'll be all right. We got a lot of things to be grateful for. We've got rain, even though we want to complain about it washing out the garden. It just helped everything take a hold too. It couldn't have done it without it, so need not to complain about that. And it made the watering hole down there for them pigs a whole lot bigger, and they're loving that. And we appreciate y'all, and appreciate y'all following us. And if you're not a subscriber, we'd appreciate if you subscribe. I know I ask on here or talk about it whenever we do this, but that's why we do this. This is, you know, part of my job, and when it starts monetizing, it'll help the family and help the homestead and be able to improve things for, you know, our critters. And during that time, we're trying to teach people what we know. We don't know everything, but we'll teach you what we do know, and we appreciate having you along. We appreciate the extended family that it gives us. And I know Paul's a wealth of information about a lot of things, from tractors to farming to everything else. So we'll have a little bit of everything on here. So if you think you'd like to follow along, then we'd love for you to join our family. We're the Lone Star Ranch Homestead. We're homesteading. We're not minimalists, we're maximalists, but we do it. We're debt free, and we try to live a self-sufficient life. I was looking around as I was, it's so pretty. I don't know if you can see those magnolia blooms, but they're gorgeous. I can't hardly see through my thing, so I can't see if I'm on the right thing. Anyhow, we appreciate y'all. Subscribe if you haven't. We appreciate you if you have subscribed. Share and like our videos. Sharing helps heaps. If you don't want to subscribe, and subscribing's free. Everybody here's subscribing. They think there's some money involved, but it doesn't cost you a thing. It's free. There ain't many things free in this world. And not just us. There's a whole lot of other homesteading families on there, people that flea market flips, different stuff. That there's some good little channels on there, some good folks you can meet along the way. There's a whole lot of them we like. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, there's always a slideshow at the end. Don't miss it, even if you want to fast forward through all my jibber jabber. Don't miss the good photos at the end. I always think it's a good little slideshow with critters or animals or mushrooms or whatever. We appreciate y'all. God bless. And as Marley would say, amen, baby. Here's that hot water heater that caught on fire. They're so lucky their home didn't burn. Now that's God at work there. Don't believe that prayers don't get answers, because they do.